It's a little short reflection, short, so we can get everybody up here, short, on what this weekend did or meant to you. And since I'm already up here, guess who gets to go first? Again, I'm an addict named Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Grateful to be here, grateful that you're here. This has been one of the best that we've put on. Maybe not in numbers, but in what's taken place here. Truly a good weekend. Some terrific workshop speakers and main speakers. And all the workshop speakers were picked at the last minute. There was no planning. So there truly is a God working in our lives today. For me this weekend was really good. Since I went back out and came back in, I usually leave the room during like clean time countdowns because there's still some of that shame and guilt there. And this year they surprised me by, I was so busy trying to get things going for other people to get their tokens at the main speaker. It never dawned on me that they would call me up there, or I'd have been gone. So in them doing that, this is the first year I've stood up for clean time since I came back from a relapse. And that's growth for me. I met some new friends. I've seen some old friends. There were some things that happened here this weekend that were just totally awesome. At the Saturday night speaker when we did the moment of silence, and then people yelled out names of people that passed away. For me, that was truly a good experience. I can't even put that into words how I felt when that was happening. And I think maybe we might do something like that every year. It was so good. I don't know. I want you to talk short, so I guess I'll lead an example and lead by example and get down from here. Thanks for coming. We hope to see you next year. Bring somebody with you, hopefully a sponsee, somebody new, somebody with less than a week. Bring them, and maybe they'll stay. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thanks.
It's open. Nobody's going. I'll go back up there.
Hi, family. My name is Robert. I'm an addict.
Hey, Robert.
This weekend for me, well, let me say this. It's always awesome when I come up here. I really look forward to this convention. This retreat. It's just something about coming up here and just being in this atmosphere, being by the water, by the lake, seeing the faces. A lot of faces I seen last year I didn't see this year, and that's okay. I got them in my head. I was just thinking about Jonathan, and when Derek mentioned him, keep him in my prayers. Thanks to the people that put this on. This takes a lot of work. I really appreciate what you guys do. Thanks to the people that came up with me. I think it helps us grow closer when we come out like this and be in rooms together and share. This year was a little different for me. I had a few challenges, but that's okay. You grow through challenges. But like I said, I really look forward to coming up here and seeing the faces of the people that I see every year. I've been coming up here for about 5 years, I think. I'm not sure, but I really look forward to this, and hate to go back home. Hate to go back home sometimes, but the reality is I got to go. And but the good part is I'll have some memories of what I left behind and look forward to coming next year, if it's God's will. Thank you.
I'm Vanessa. I'm an addict. And I grew with love this weekend. I mean, I really did. And this is just the most amazing thing I've experienced in my whole life. Everything, everybody, the beauty, the spiritualness, it's all really overwhelming to me. And I need love right now. I need it so badly. I crave it, I give it, I take it, and I want more of it. This is awesome. I don't want to go home. This is home. I got sad when I packed up my car. But I just want to thank everybody for letting me be a part of this. And my God, I'm in the right place right now. So, I'm pretty new to the program. I've got 54 days today.
All right.
And through all of the pain and everything else that I've gone through, even over this weekend, I'm still growing, and it's awesome. And, I'll be coming back.
Good.
It's so all right.
My name's Colby. I'm an addict. Yeah, this is a real special weekend for me too. I always come here and look for those times when I could feel like that I'm touched by God, And this weekend didn't disappoint me again. It always finds me when I don't look for it. Whether it be at a speaker meeting or a workshop or being down by the lake. And everybody that I see here makes that happen. And those little conversations, standing in line at the dining hall or down by the campfire, when someone will touch on that thing that I need to hear and share with me what they're going through, and helps me to connect to the fellowship. And I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks for everybody.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I'm an addict. Bonnie. Every year I come here and I learn something about my recovery. And I thought I'd been complacent in the last year, and it's funny what I learned this year, that, at 6 months clean, I was going to meetings, had a sponsor, I was working steps, and God, I wanted what you people had. I wanted a stable, steady job. I wanted my marriage to be all better. I wanted to have relationships with my children. I wanted to have friends who loved me in my life, and damn it, I'd been clean 6 months. And this weekend I realized that, what? I have all that today. And I've had it for a long time. And it's not that I've been complacent. It's early recovery is a lot of hard work, trying to understand these principles, understand things like being honest no matter where you are, what integrity meant, what humility means, what acceptance means, patience, tolerance, and learning what these things mean and how they apply to my life. And, to be in a real application part of recovery. It's like, okay, take all this stuff that I've learned and start using it. Not just using it here at Camp Mac, not just using it at the functions, but using it at the grocery store and at the job, driving down the street, out in my yard where my neighbors see me, you know. And so that's what I learned about this weekend, is that, you know what, I'm living that life that I really didn't think was possible for me, even though it seemed to be possible for all of you when I got here. And, you know, I love this place. And I even went fishing this year. But I didn't have to put the worms on. I had to take the fish off. I learned that when you're cowering in the car hiding from a raccoon, it's better to do it with a friend, you know. Yeah, 45 minutes. Poor little thing just wanted food. But, and I've learned most of all that what I bring here in terms of expectations are never failed when I get here, you know. And, you know, when I come here, I'm just expecting to learn a little bit more about me. And, you know, I wanted a meditation last night, and a fellow addict that has done meditations before, he was here, and I was like, cool. And I said, well, if you feel like doing one, let me know. And, you know, if the Spirit moves you in. So he decided to do one, and I got there, and I was the only one there. And, you know, he did it anyways because I needed it, you know. And that's what you guys have taught me. What I need, I've got to put it out there. And then just wait. It'll happen, you know. But it's more about expressing that need, you know. So anyways, I had a wonderful weekend. I'll be back next year. And, you know, this is the 5th year that I stayed in the yurt. And I want to share how great it is to stay in the yurt, but I'm afraid someone else might think it'd be great for them to stay in the yurt. So anyways, that's where you'll find me next year.
Hi, family. My name is Mike. I'm an addict. First of all, I can't describe in words what this weekend has been like because it's so awesome, whatever. But I know it gives me, you know, some relief to come up here, whatever, to get away from all the chaos and all the other life-on-life terms that we have to deal with when we go back to our, you know, prospective places, whatever. Like I was telling my wife, it seems like this weekend just go by so quick. You understand? You look up, Monday is here, it's time to go. But when I come up here, it charges my battery to go back and deal with a lot of stuff because I can look back and see, wow, sure had a nice time up there, whatever, you know? And it gives me inspiration, you understand, to know that if God is willing, I will be back next year. And that's a blessing, whatever, because it's not, you know, it's not, you understand, often that you can come to a place where everybody treats you, you know, good, whatever. I mean, even when it rains up here, that's okay. You understand? It don't cut out nothing, whatever, you know. And that's the atmosphere, you understand, that I enjoy being in. So I'm just grateful that I got introduced to Camp Mac, whatever, and it was a good experience, and I look forward to coming back next year. Thank you.
I'm Mac named Mike. Hey, Mike. I've been coming here for like 13 years. This is the 13th year. I've been hiding in the basement making coffee, but this first year I haven't done that, and it's real cool. Well, I like it. That's cool. I'm not didn't do this year, and this year I got to experience a little more of the fellowship and everything. It's cool and everything, and I know that the decision I have to make now is I made it. I think so. I'm gonna go back to therapy and back to get my handicap a little more raised, and work on. I'm also going to go to meetings too, and do, you know, try and do 90-90, or, you know, just trying to get my everything squared up, and who knows. I might be cured. I might be a little bit more able and ambulatory next time you see me, hopefully. I think my speech is getting better over the years, and that's because I'm feeling better about myself. I'm not having to hide. You see, I've been hiding. I make you work for it, and then I say, ha, too bad, you didn't get it, you know. It's automatic, you know. I'm sorry, you know, but I mean, like, you know, and then I don't know. It's just and part of this is because you know I'm learning something that happened as a kid that I need to get over now, and you know, it's all about, you know, it's all cool, and I can't see you next year.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bryant, and I'm an addict. And the only reason I write is so that there are things that I want to say, and I want to tell you that before I got here, I've been going through a legal situation where I've been praying to my God and my teacher and my counselor for justice for a long, long time for my children and for myself. And on Monday of last week, I got justice and I got closure, and I didn't have a speech prepared, so it is as if the words came from a place that I didn't know what I was going to say. And when the other person spoke, they had it written down, and basically it was like, there's the justice I've been looking for. When I left the situation, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like, great, they got theirs. No, actually, I felt like, and the losers were my children. But I came here, and the first meeting out here was people were talking about the physical insides and how we're all ate up, and we really shouldn't be here. There are a lot of us walking around that probably should have died a long time ago. And I started thinking about my spiritual insides, which can only be shown in through my actions on the outside. And I heard a lot of key words that I was looking for, such as respect for other human beings, because we're sharing the planet, and the unity thing, and Gene's lead on service, what an inspiration, and the peace and tranquility that I'll leave with today. I had an addict in my home group. Of course, we probably all feel that we're from the best home groups on the planet. But they asked me, you know, you have this 100-mile-an-hour thinking all the time, and it's not that way, because I can slow it down. And when people say that we don't have any control, no, we do have self-control, and we do have the ability to, that double-edged sword, to don't use it so sharp, and to be aware that what we say may hurt another human being. And then I think as the steps go, then we're supposed to promptly admit it. Maybe that's just like saying, I'm sorry. And there are some people that I need to apologize to, and some people that probably never will apologize to me, and that's okay. But I'll leave you with this, that I think that our hope is in our children, and it wouldn't be a bad idea if we went home and did some good for the hood.
All right.
Morning, family. My name is Rick. I'm a recovering addict.
Hey, Rick.
Hey. This is my first time being here, and it's great. You know, I didn't know what to expect, and as a first-time caller, a long-time listener, it was everything more than what I could expect. It was great. I learned a lot of. I learned some useless crap, and and I learned and gained a whole lot more priceless. You know, it's lovely. You know, it's beautiful how almost everybody, you know, all comes from different regions, and we all share the same hugs. We all share the same strengths and hopes. We've all been there and done that, so we all share a lot of the same experiences. You know, and it's just great to be here 75 days, you know, out of prison. You know, and 90 days ago, sitting in prison, I never thought that there could be this many people and this many backgrounds, races, and loving each other. You know, it's from so much adverse hate to just so much love, you know, and it's beautiful. And I thank you all for showing me that day people rock.
Hello, family. My name is Walter, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Walter.
And I'd just like to stand and just say I'm grateful for being here. I don't speak a lot, but I've been coming up here quite a few years, and this is sort of like I heard what's the word I was looking for? Like a spiritual revival for me. It's a lot of love shown at this convention. Genuine love, you know. A lot of places I go at, but it's kind of fake, you know. It's kind of, you wonder about it, but here, you know, it's you can feel it. It's real. And I come here for a spiritual revival when I can. I got here a little late this year, but it was worth every mile of it. I've enjoyed myself tremendously. You know, I'm gonna keep coming. Thanks.
Hi, family. I'm an addict. My name is Lisa. This has been a very, very emotional weekend for me. I've been teared up several times. Part of it is about grieving. And sometimes before a relationship ends, the grieving part starts because you know that the relationship is coming to an end. And I'm not talking about a relationship between a person and their partner. I was reading something last night, and I've been talking about it. People call me Tape Lady, you know, but I'm an addict, and my name is Lisa, you know, and I'm done. I'm done with this. I just want to be an addict showing up, you know. I was reading something that says when you lose your passion for something, that it's time to let it go. And I go to conventions everywhere. I've met people everywhere. And I just want to go back to being a recovering addict. Not Tape Lady, not the person behind the table hugging like Jean was talking about across the table. And I used to come here every year, and it was like, it is like revitalization. It is about getting in touch with your spirit. It's about going to the tree, having silent moments of meditation. You know, I touch the tree, I pray, and I've been asking for God to show me some things. And I used to have to come and do this taping thing because it was the way that I survived. You know, I would have money to pay my bills, but I would need this as a buffer. And I've been granted, you know, a partner that pays equally, you know, not just monetarily, but gives me support in what I do. And I just, that is just priceless to me, you know. I feel like I'm part of a team, you know. I've been about I and me for so long. They talk about that self-obsession at the core of our disease, you know what I mean? Just so self-centered. And to be able to finally want to be a part of a we, you know, and Camp Mac gave me that. I am willing to come back here and tape, you know, because I enjoy it, you know. When I come here, it's not about making money. I mean, because I go some places and I make a good little bit of money, but I wear myself out. I sleep 3 hours a night, you know. I go to places where people don't hug you. And when I first came here Friday night, you know, I still had that status, you know, where I don't know that somebody's going to come up and hug me sometimes, because sometimes I go indoors at conventions and they don't have huggers at the door, and nobody freaking speaks to you, you know, unless they want to have an exchange of business, you know. And so I was coming in here, and this big guy, he just came up and just hugged me. And it was like all the walls shattered. And that's what happens here at Camp Mac. You know, I don't have to worry about if my hair looks right. I am, however, caught up in whether I match, you know. That's just who I am today. You know, everything needs to go. I like symmetry and order and control. You know, that's what that's all about. But I get to come here and just be me, you know, without all the airs and pretension. I mean, just being me, you know, and we do grow with love, you know, and you all have loved me year after year. You guys told me so much that you missed me last year, but you don't know how much I missed you all, you know. Before I came here, a week or so before I came here, my partner, as the week begins to progress, she said, "You're excited about this, aren't you?" I get excited about coming here. You know, I do. I am just overjoyed and overwhelmed. And the tears that I have today are tears of happiness and tears of hope. You know, I just want to thank y'all for loving me. Thanks for letting me come.
I'm Kim, and I'm an addict. And when I first got clean, there's something that I did. I heard a lot about prayer, and I wanted to know how to pray. And I always felt really weird praying out loud, and, you know, did what we all do, read the books, this and that and the other, on and on. Well, yesterday, I had the honor and privilege of praying with and praying out loud for my sponsor, because she lost her puppy that was like her baby. I mean, literally, for all of you who are pet lovers, she lost Nate, and Nate was her little guy, and she had to leave the convention because it was just too much. And, you know, sitting here out by one of the bonfires, I believe God said, go pray with your sponsor so that she can feel a little bit lighter about this. And I think that's growing with love. You know, coming here, I love Camp Mac. You guys all know, the people who've been here for years know how much I love Camp Mac. And yesterday, a lot of people are like, oh, you guys did such a good job. You guys, I'll tell you one more time. We humans do not put this convention on. God does. Humans, all year long, try all sorts of things. And in the past, we've had some things go on here and before we get here, and it never fails. Whatever we come up with, whatever we try to do, whatever we try to fix or manipulate, God puts on this convention. So I want to thank God for Camp Mac, and thank God that all you guys are here. And, you know, listening to Lisa, you all know I've been involved with the convention committee in one form or another for the past 8 years. I have prayed on it and talked about it and prayed about it and talked about it and prayed about it, and I am going to step away from the convention committee. And it's time for other people to do things. I have also decided that, you know, if God wants this to go on, the people will come forward, it'll go on, and I want to be able to come to We Grow With Love is just Kim the addict, not Kim on the convention committee, not Kim who has to get up on the podium, not Kim who, you know, people come running and asking questions to because I'm on the committee. I just want to come here. I want to be able to come when I come and leave when I leave and sit where I sit and not be accountable to anything. And I'm being honest. I love We Grow With Love. I love everyone who comes. I love seeing the faces. Last year I got caught up in the fact that a lot of people weren't here. This year I came here and I thought, whoever's supposed to be here is supposed to be here, you know? And I've had a great time with the people that are here. I'm very grateful to be clean, grateful to be here, And I hope you all keep coming back. Thanks.
Thanks, Kim.
I'm an addict named Jim. This is my first year here too at Camp Mac, and today I'm celebrating 30 days clean. And I knew I was going to get my 30 days clean because I'm at a safe place. You know, I knew I was going to be. I don't want to leave. You know, Friday night we had a Red Ball meeting, and the topic was gratitude. I felt grateful for the fellowship and all that, but I didn't have any gratitude. Today I feel like I have gratitude, you know. I'm kind of going through a grieving process. I feel like I lost my best friend. But just for today, I feel I have gratitude. Who knows what tomorrow will bring me, you know. I've been here since Friday, and you know I didn't get one phone number. So I'm going to pass this. Men only, please.
I'm an addict. My name's Derek. You know, every year it's different. You come here with a whole carload full of some kind of baggage. Some of it you intend to use to sleep with or be warm with or whatever here at Camp Mac, and some of it you don't really see, but it's there and you don't want to be carrying around with you. And you get here, and at least for me, a lot of that baggage that I came in here with isn't going home with me. We drove by a liquor store on the way through Goshen on the way down here, and a guy was walking out. He had a case of beer in his hand, and I looked over and I thought to myself, that don't look like a bad idea. And my wife said, keep on driving, let's get to Camp Mac. Right before we got here, before I pulled off the pavement into the alley coming in here, I stopped the car. We rolled down the windows. Negativity, intolerance, impatience, all that crap out. You ain't coming in here. And I think I did a pretty good job this week of trying to maintain that spiritual composure. And I know that I tried to pass that along to several other addicts, because I tried to direct addicts when I saw some negativity into being a little more positive. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been able to participate in your recoveries in that capacity. I just wanted to say on your way out of here, be careful, because that pile of crap that I left on the road is slippery. You don't want to fall in it. See y'all next year.
Don't even try it, pal. I'm at what I'm at here too. And I guess I need to think sometime before I even open my big ass mouth of mine, But all you guys said, and when this lady here, she started crying and things, that's how I felt when I first came. And it's like, God, it's humiliating, but you can't help it, and it's all right. It's like, I bought me a shirt that says, it's cool to be humble. And I think the more I get humble, the better off I am, And coming up in here, I got up early and I was walking around, and wasn't nobody else up. They were snoring and carrying on, and a couple of people was up. But I just had to let myself go and taste God, you know what I mean? And I said, I'm gonna walk over there, and somebody was out there on the porch. Said, it's okay, ain't nobody gonna. I think it's something telling me you ain't gotta worry about it, ain't no limitations here. And I love the song that he's got to be singing, and like a lot of spiritual people, church people or whatever. They always tell me they carrying God's message or they doing something for God. And he said, but how can you serve me when your spirit is empty? And I love that song because it's talking to me, though. It ain't talking to nobody else. Say, how can you serve me when your spirit is empty? There's a longing in my heart, just wanting more of just a part of you. You know what I'm saying? It's true. He say, I miss my time with you. God told me that. So when I spend time, when I come up here, I get a chance to like spend time with him a little bit, to be filled with strength and wisdom for the battles, going back, Mike, for the battles of them days. And, you know, and I know that he got something better for me. I don't want to, a place like this get me ready for all that other junk. So when people get all crazy and mean, or I can keep a smile. You know what I mean? You know, I can smile when things look bad. You know what I mean? My cousin lost her son. And you know, and the negativity was kicking in. Just stay home and feel sorry for yourself. You stay home, you feel sorry. That's a hell of a message to give a man, huh? But you know what? My buddy here kept calling me, Edwin. Yeah, we up at Camp Mac. We about an hour away, you know. And he called me the next day, and I made up my mind. I told my wife I ain't going. She was like, Edwin, you getting out of here? You know, all of the memorabilia of death and stuff. She put it in the closet. I said, you see, I want to cry. You see, I want to feel sorry for myself, basically. And why you want to do that? She said, you know, go call your buddy, Ed. And what God did also, Walter, what your name is Walter. Skip that. The attic and all that shit. He arranged it so either I can go later Friday or I could come later Saturday. Who said that? Kim? God did it, didn't he? Because I was trying to say, hey, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to mope and I'm going to complain and I'm going to blame it on myself that what didn't happen. Robert said, no, don't do it. He called me and he kept calling me. And I appreciate it. And like you say, love, you know, you can't beat it. You know, you can give me a couple of dollars. You can let me borrow your good car, the Lexus and all that. But when it get like this, when you get right down to I'm going to write me a song one day. You know, when you get right down to it, doesn't all the moments. Oh, get out of here. See, that's why, you know, you can't let me talk sometimes. It's just so much inside me. I want to just hug everybody, and I got a song about you and him and, you know, and everything. But I just won't sit down and give my damn self patience enough to just write the damn thing and then get it over with, you know. Oh, help me, God. Sometimes I just want to say, just calm me down and, you know. And Camp Mac, I know I feel you. I feel you. You know, you're just like, thanks. Oh, man, I just can't do it, you know what I mean? Thanks, you know. And that's all I can say is just thanks. Then you want to get off the committee. When I looked on the sheet and I saw your name, and I said, I know her, you know, and I know I got to go here this year, you know. I saw you now. You want to quit. You want to get off. You want to be a regular addict. You can't do this to me. How you going to just be a regular addict? But change is growth, right? Even when you got to let something go. And I had to let people let go. Now, what is it going to be like you ain't on the thing, you know? Because I started to call y'all a couple of times. Hey, yeah, I want to come. You know what I mean? Everyone leave people alone. Quit worrying the hell out of people. You know. But that's it, you know. I love Camp Mac just like it. Robin then brought me up here. And this is cool. And I just want to thank God for my friends who kind of like, they look after me. Especially, I be wanting to quit a lot of days. And I share this. I quit. You know, I quit. I mean, I ain't going to no meetings. Oh, no, I do that. I go to meetings, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to say nothing. I mean, I go in the meeting a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, and it's shut my eyes. A guy told me I need to put blinders on so I won't be so critical of people when they share. And I did that. See, I'm going to follow some suggestions. I shut my mouth and I closed my eyes because I saw Ray Charles, how he was doing. He was still getting him some women, though, see? And so I closed my eyes and I listened to people come in the meeting and go out the meeting and talk and share, and I didn't say a word. And that was one of the best things I ever done, you know, because I really heard how people are feeling and what's going on, you know, what's in that meeting. But I'm going to shut up. But because it ain't too much, you know, there ain't enough time for me to just express, and it's not necessary for me to keep talking. But just to say I appreciate you guys and I love you, and, you know, keep coming back. Okay?
somebody and I'm an addict? I'll make this real quick. Whenever I come up here, I'm like you, Lisa, it's real emotional for me. You know, Camp Mac for me, every year I come up here, I heal from the year before. And it lasts me till I come back next year. But what I found out this weekend is not only do I heal from the stuff that I know I'm sick from, I heal from the stuff that I don't know. And I just feel so light when I leave. You know, I can't see me not coming. Because I get so full of everything I need to help fight the next year. And everything ain't so bad. You know, so I'm just grateful for the people who put this on. You know, I can't do without this during the year. This is like that hug you get to get you through the next day that you get from people. This is that hug I get from everybody to help me get through the year. Thank you.
I'm Lonnie, I'm an addict. And I'm truly grateful to be here. I know a few months ago, I experienced a near-death experience, and they didn't know whether I was going to make it or not. You know, I suffered with a congestive heart failure, and that was my first big one, you know. So I came to Camp Mac feeling one way, you know what I'm saying? Why me, and how could this happen to me, and I ain't big and fat, and why do I have to, you know what I'm saying, things that people suffer from that may be overweight or whatever. But why not me? You know, for 30 years, I got high on a regular basis, you know. But anyway, I come to Camp Mac every year, and I feel one way, and I always leave feeling another way. You know, I leave, I feel like a transformed person. I get some spirituality here, you know. I was sharing about my secondary illness, you know, and I got honest with that. And then after I got through sharing about it, I felt a lot better because people from all over was coming up to me and hugging me and saying that I really enjoyed you sharing about that because guess what? I suffer from the same thing. And you know, that really changed my life. That really changed my thinking. And I'm like, I'm not alone. Okay. You know, maybe I can, you know, work with this thing. But it made me feel a lot better. And that's where the spirituality came in, is when other people walked up to me and told me they enjoyed me sharing about that and that they suffer from the same thing. And I felt a lot better. And today I can go home, you know, and I got some hope today, you know. And I'm looking forward to being here next year. Thanks for letting me share.
Hi, I'm Kathleen J. from South Bend. Came up with Shannon and her daughter Ashley. I have never met so many good people in a long time, throughout my lifetime actually. Beautiful smiles, honesty, truth, you know, good conversation, hope, faith. It's just, and love for one another. It's overwhelming. It really is. It's just beautiful, and it feels so normal though. It feels like a normal, healthy situation, and I want that. I need that. I want that so much throughout my lifetime. My husband passed away 9 months ago. I've told many of you members from cirrhosis. He was involved in AA, and I'm cross-addicted myself. I started using after my husband's death. Enough's enough. You know, I want my home. I want to be me again. I don't want any of this shit. You know, they all seem to follow me. You know. and that's going to happen. It's happening. I have a lot of health issues myself, so I need to take care of myself, or I'm going to die, pass away quickly. I'm just very happy to be here. It's been, yesterday I kind of went through a transition, health issues or whatever. I found myself kind of tired yesterday. So after each meal, I found myself napping. But I think it's a transition between, at least I really feel this way inside, the transition of being clean, being alone, being in good surroundings, my environment with everyone. I just need that time to myself to adjust, a little adjustment period, that transition. And I feel wonderful. I feel good today. I had a wonderful weekend. I would like to come back. I hope I can look forward to everybody else coming back next week or next year. There's a lot of conventions, a lot of things going on in South Bend and other places along the way I'd like to get involved with. I do go to meetings, and I just recently got involved in a New Passages. It's a NAAA program, 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. They're in South Bend. They knew my husband. He had gone through it twice. But it's kind of, a little closest there, the people, the counselors. So I'm looking forward to that. I started last week. So my parents have given me a couple months off. So I'm going to be doing that during the week and meetings and talking with Shannon and others here in the room. And so I'm off to a good start. I am. I'm off to a good start. So I thank you all for being my companion, for being just the nice people you are, and I hope to see you all again soon or along the way, and to look after me, and I'll, I hope to see you or hear from you, and I pray, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm a recovering addict named Joseph. Hi, family. I was reflecting on several things this weekend. First and foremost, that this is the first time that I've actually come to Camp Mac and stayed through the whole weekend. And why that's important is because I began with this area when North Central Indiana area was started. I was going to meetings and going to the area meetings and a part of that. And through many different things that occurred in my life, I never made the choice to actually come to Camp Mac and be at Camp Mac for the whole weekend. I'd come for a day or pop in here or there, and but never stayed for the whole weekend. This is the first year I've done that, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And it's been great weather, so maybe I'll take credit for that. I've come a few other times, it's been raining and cold and all. I said, well, it's good weather. Maybe that's because I came, It's grandiose, all about me. Some of the other things I noticed that were occurring for me this weekend were, how we talk about the old times and the way things used to be and what we were doing and all that. What I found myself was talking about the old times, but if you stay around here long enough, the old times I was talking about were of my early recovery and the old meetings we had in our area and all the people that were there. My family back here, Julia and Kathy and Jana coming up and Mark and, these people that have been around for a long time and had this camp every year and put all their time and effort into it. I thank you. Applaud you for that because, I had things in my life where I needed to go do other things. When I tell people the worst thing that's occurred to me in my recovery is that I got married in recovery. That wasn't the worst. Well, I think so now, but I got married in recovery and I got divorced in recovery. Had a 10-year relationship and 5 children. That was probably some of the most painful stuff I went through in recovery. I think because, once I get in through the door, they tell me, keep coming back, everything's going to get better. Well, then it may get worse and it gets different and then real different. Well, it's gotten real different for me. But I can have things occur in my life today and being around this family, it's absolutely wonderful. You know, I got a phone call last night just for the main speaker. I had a family member pass away yesterday about 3:30 in the afternoon. I didn't have to run home. I didn't have to be with the family. You know, I got a family. I got people here that care. I got people I could share that with. I'll go home tonight and I'll do what I need to do with that. But I don't have to leave here to do that because I have family here. Along with that family, it's interesting how I go to meetings with a lot of the same people, go to the same meetings. We go to coffee together. Try living with them in a cabin for a weekend. That's something different about family. You learn all kinds of stuff. You're like, oh, wow, check that out, I'm sleeping in here. There's the real family. Hello. But it's just a wonderful experience to have. Just something just a change for me. I've been to a lot of conventions, the hotel gigs and gone to world conventions and all that. And there's just something special here that I'm grabbing onto, and I'm going to hold on to that. So I'm a recovering addict named Joseph. Thanks for letting me share.
Through His grace, we was able to get here because we weren't going to come because of, financially we couldn't afford it, and He made a way, out of no way for us to come up here and not have to worry about the bills when I go home, not take money that I need to do something else with and come up here. Last year was my first year up here, and for me, it was a newfound freedom, I've been around a few 24 hours, and that's all I've been was around, It really opened the doors of NA for me because, I'm a real standoff person. And when I came up here last year, a lot of the guys out of Detroit on DeQuinda, I didn't know till I got here. And today, they're my friends, like I said, I've been around, and it's hard for me to open up to men. I got guys that call me, on a regular basis. If you need anything, even Lonnie reached out, Steve, you need something, we'll make sure you get here. Camp Mac, the hustle and bustle in Detroit, is rough. Even being in recovery, and like he was saying, the cup runners over, and when I come up here, I fill it up. Last year, I really started being part of recovery since I've been here. I've been around here, I run into meetings, just leave, share that surface stuff. But, it's a lot of garbage that's still going on inside, like yesterday, talking about forgiving myself, real standoffish. And coming up here has allowed me a new freedom to open up to men because I have a trust issue. I've always had a trust issue with men from my addiction, and I'm just real grateful, God put people in your life when you really need them. If He knows where your heart is. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go back to the everyday responsibility right now. I look around at this. I'd rather be here than a convention. Like Walt was saying, I go many places and there's so many phonies. But I know you're just supposed to identify, but up here, it's a real spirit of love. You can. I've never wore an outfit like this, I mean, in the city of Detroit, I wouldn't go to the but I would now. I wouldn't go to the NA picnic they have in Detroit every year if I had an outfit like this. But today, it's okay. I don't have to put, I'm still tearing down a lot of masses, It's learning how to get humble and surrender, what you think of me. I still got issues with what you think of me, but today I'd walk in there just as proud, in a meeting or whatever. I don't have to put on no alligator shoes, and see that image that is down that way kept me from coming around for years, just being just in and out, staying clean. I know I don't have to use, but it's about recovering today, and having some peace. In the last year, I've been more places than the 15 years I've been here. That is part of recovery, and I'm enjoying it. It's like I've been here and ain't had a life. Work, 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 work. I work not to think, and stuff. So, since I've been here, I've been thinking about quitting one of my jobs, because from last year to this year, I'm starting to be more manageable. I'm starting to look at, paying my bills because I wasn't paying them, consolidating bills. I've consolidated bills, so things are getting better, so I'll be able to have more Steve time than giving somebody else the time, I'm real grateful for Rob, Mike, Lonnie, Rob, DeQuinda, these guys from down there. I'm not even in their home group. April, I'm not even in their home group. But they have took me in like, I feel like a kid has been, and they nurturing me for me, this is how I feel, to become part of recovery. Because I've been around here, when I got here, I didn't want to use, and that's all, I didn't use, but I want to grow up, And coming here last year has allowed me to start growing up and being more responsible. Thanks for letting me share.
Hello, my name is Felicia, I'm an addict. I thank God for everything, y'all, and you people being here. This is my second year here. I came here last year. When I got here last year, I had 6 months. Now I got 18 months. And through the process, from the time I left here last year to this time, I lost 4 people in my family. I lost my brother when I got back. I lost my mother in December, and I lost 2 aunts this month. But this program is teaching me to accept things, and I got some acceptance with that, But Camp Mac is a different world from where I come from, I love being by the water, and I like going out and seeing different people and different things, But this is, when I first came here last year, I was like, I don't like it here, But I had to be here to know how. When I got here, I didn't know what to expect, so I judged the outside, just look on the outside, not what's going on the inside. But this is a great place to be. I get some freedom here, I get some peace and some serenity here, And I ain't got a whole lot of things pressing me, just that it's just life on life terms. And I can live down here. I can come here and live forever down here, Thank y'all. Thank you.
Come on, Kathy.
Hi, family. I'm an addict named Kathy. I'm gonna say when I heard a lot about Camp Mac before I got here, and it was just something about when Lisa talked about it. I'm gonna say a name. I'm gonna put a name on it. When she talked about Camp Mac, something came over her whole persona, and it made me want to know about it. I have a hunger and a desire because I'm curious. And anytime someone shows that kind of passion about something, hey, I remember when I was using, okay? But the kind of desire that I seen her show and the passion was so pure. So when she brought up Camp Mac, at first, okay. But the closer it got to coming, she's excited. I'm starting to get excited now. I don't even know what's getting ready to happen, but I'm starting to get excited. But there was still the apprehension. But when I begin to come down the roads and begin to take in God's creation, something began to happen. And then when we came in, and that little child, the inner child in me, was like, I ended up in the basement somehow. And let me say before I go there, because there was a very, when I came in the room, and sometimes I get intimidated in walking in places where I don't know anybody. But Shannon and Maria and a few other people and Kim, the way they embraced you when you walked in here, you just knew you was where you were supposed to be. I just knew at that moment something great was going to happen. And then, of course, the inner child in me, I go downstairs and I see the ping pong table and I see the foosball, and I said, okay, I'm all right now. You know, and I began to play ping pong, and it was something about the way I played that game when we played down there, because the fellowship. And then as the weekend has progressed, I went from the playful stage to the growing stage. I came here and I was grieving some things, the lifestyle, the dope, family members. It's a Memorial Day weekend. But I found myself as I walked by the water, just walking by, tossed that in. And then as I went to the cross, lay that at the foot of it. And I began to feel some change happening within my spirit. I'm grateful for Narcotics Anonymous. I'm grateful for this experience this weekend. We grow with love, and sometimes love means we gotta let go of some things. And sometimes it's hard. But I thank God for the family, you know. And the hugs that I received here, and the love and the listening ear, you know, that's it's priceless. It's priceless. And I take this back with me because, you know, I'm going to go back with a whole different language when I go back to Ohio, you know, because my sponsor talks about a sticky pad. Well, I don't know nothing about that today because I ain't on no sticky pad. I've been to Camp Mac, you know. So I thank you very much. I love you.
I'm only getting up here because my buddy Mike asked me to. Oh. I was thinking while ago, I was in the bathroom, and I was thinking about the newcomer versus the older member. And it's a lot of things I can reflect back on with my experience of coming up here. And the first time I came up here was by myself. And I didn't have to come back by myself the next time. Because just like she just said, it's something it's something about Camp Mac. It's almost like when you walk in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, you will never be the same. You'll never be the same. And I remember back in the winter when it was snowing this year, when it was real cold. And I looked at my sponsor, and things just wasn't going right for me. And I told him, man, I'm not thinking about Camp Mac, right? And I was sitting here thinking about how my attitude was about where I was at. It wasn't Camp Mac, it was me. You know what I'm saying? I was just right there at the time. My sponsor just looked at me and said, okay, right? And, you know, as the snow melted and spring started to set place, all that went away. It was about getting to Camp Mac again, you know? You know, this place for the new member is like a pair of shoes you buy when they're brand new. You expect a lot of things from them shoes, but you don't know what to expect. You do know some of the things you might expect. But you know, you buy a pair of shoes and sometimes you say, damn, that pair of shoes really wore good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how Camp Mac has been to me. It's like when I come up here, you know, I can just get in it, just get in them. You know what I'm saying? Just get into Camp Mac, and you will feel experiences that you never felt before. You know, and this weekend, like any other time I've been up here, it gave me a chance to reflect. I spoke to some people. I had some conversations with people this time that someone said something at the workshop that I'd never heard before, and that was that everybody needs to be heard. There's some people that's going to come into your life that you already done set them up to be somebody that you don't want to listen to because they don't sound good enough for you. But you need to take the opportunity to remember that everything that you say, everybody don't want to hear either. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, see, this is the only thing that's ever worked for me. And I'm so touched by being in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And the other thing is what I can reflect back on this weekend is that I know there's something about Robert. This time I didn't bring anyone along. I brought some people. I invited some people to come again. And that, Gerald, you just don't know, man. You know, however you view yourself, however you look at yourself, you know, I've seen the innocence in you. And that goes along with everybody. I've been touched by Lonnie, Mike, some people that I don't get a chance to really, I see them on weekends, but I've got a chance this time to see the innocence in y'all. And it's the innocence in everybody. But you just got to sit around, look hard enough and find the innocence in everybody. And like what Steve said a while ago, the most important thing you got to remember, a lot of that other shit is just a facade. You know, there's two things happening with every human being in here, and that is you either coming from love or you coming from fear. Most of us right now is more afraid than we are afraid to be loved by somebody. We're afraid of that because we don't want to get close to people. It's hard to get close to one another. You know what I'm saying? If you were anything like me, I used dope. I love dope, but it didn't love me. And I used for a long time. So the word grow for me this weekend has been like, I've got a chance to be to myself. And the day my sponsor, I asked him to read to me, right, to Just for the Day. And it was talking about loneliness versus alone. And it is a difference. You know what I'm saying? It is a difference. I am never alone, you know. But sometimes in my spirit, I feel like that. And it's a feeling that you can't describe. But I know loneliness is just a state of mind. I had an opportunity this time to just say, you know what, I'm not going to wrestle with who comes and who don't come. I begged for a whole month to try to get my sponsor to come up here, right? And I had to go to my sponsor and say, man, you know, I'm almost willing to find the money to give him to come up here. But, you know, when you make your bed hard, you got to sleep in it. You know, I can't fall into that trap about, oh, my sponsor, you know what I'm saying, he drives something bigger than I drive, right? You know, so I know somewhere along the line you just mismanaging your money. And I have to allow people to be where they at in that case because I got that codependent issue where I want to, you know, save you. And it ain't like that because I don't want y'all to try to save me, right? If I do something, if I make a decision in my life, which I have made some decisions, when I go back, I'm going to continue to do what my goals are. I'm going to continue to stick to my goals. And my goals is I've done some things this year that I know I needed to do because like what Steve said a while ago, see, we get confused, we get it twisted, especially in the city. It's hard to recover sometime in the city if you are attracted to material success. And it takes me to come here and realize all I got to do is be me here, right? And all I got to do is take me back there. See, I realized I wanted to find out, I stayed here long enough to find out something, Lisa, that y'all don't get impressed real fast. We don't be impressed by other people's successes, man. And I had to learn that. And so today I had to do some things. I'm grateful for a sponsor. I'm grateful for you people. But most importantly, man, I was sharing this here with an addict yesterday coming back from the store. I done been here long enough to learn how to use my sponsees. Because I can't always go to my sponsor. Sometimes you get tired of burning your sponsor's ear up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just say, man, let me lean up. And you know what I'm watching now? When I have conversation with my sponsor, I'm always wondering how long our conversation gonna last. See, I'm wondering how long we gonna talk. How long he gonna say, okay, Rob, I gotta go. Right? See, because I'm real sensitive today. So I go to my sponsor. I'm grateful that I built a relationship with sponsees today. Right? And I go to my sponsor and ask him just like I'm a newcomer. I'm using y'all today. So I'm grateful to be here. Mark, you said something up on that platform that really touched me, man. See, it take courage to come in here and tell you that you had 14 years, you used, right? And you ain't forgot that you had it, but you willing to stay here anyway. That's right. That's right. That took courage, Mark. I love you for that, man. See, because those are the things, in closing, I want to say to y'all, we reflecting back on what we did this weekend, but you need to remember that we all still suffer with the same disease. And the reason why we sitting up here being touched by what people say today is because the bottom line is we all got to leave here with the same disease that some of us might not make it back due to the nature of it. Thanks for letting me share.
Hello, I'm an addict named Sandra. This is my 3rd year at Camp Mac, and I don't think I've ever heard so many people with health issues. So I like to share this with everyone. Get you a juicer for those of you who don't have juicers, and start making carrot juice and drinking it every day. It might help with your diabetes, your hepatitis C, AIDS, cancer, you name it. You know, with your higher power and carrot juice, you might live a whole lot longer. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Trentella. I'm an addict.
Hi, Trentella.
First, I'd like to thank God for being here today, and it's something I want to share about. When I first came here, I was real timid, felt out of place. The second year, well, when I went to the tree the first year, that was awesome. The second year when I came, I felt a little bit more comfortable. But this year, I really, really felt the impact of this camp. I was in my room this morning, and my husband had stepped out, and I was packing my stuff. And I classify myself to be a real strong woman, you know, and I don't really like showing emotions too much. And this morning, I was in there, and I was saying, dang, I'm really not ready to go. And I started crying, and I caught myself. I'm like, what, you crying? You know, but I was just really impressed, you know, at the beauty and the serenity that I've received since I've been here, you know, the peace. And I was really at awe with that. And I just thought I'd share that. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Liz, and I'm an addict. And this weekend has been a wonderful experience for me. 9 months ago, I came back to my first NA meeting, and when we were doing announcements, the first announcement was Camp Mac. And that's all like a lot of my home group and people talked about and everything. And I managed to stay clean one day at a time. And pulling in here yesterday, I was just in tears because I made it, and to spend this weekend with my home group and so many people. I've never been around so many recovering addicts before in my life. And it's been just a wonderful experience. I've been depressed because I don't want to go home back to reality, but I'm here, to carry the message too, and I need to go back to my home group and carry the love and everything I got from here, and help other people just like I got help when I came here. So I'm real grateful today, and I'll miss you guys, and I'll see you next year.
I didn't want to get up here. I was disappointed when I got here this year. And number one, I wasn't coming because I didn't like last year. And I don't get with women generally up here. Hang out with my certain girlfriends, and that's it. And I copped a resentment, because I wanted to dance, I wanted to do karaoke, I wanted to do all the stuff that it's expected every year. And I was sitting back there realizing that the first year I got here, it was great. The next year I was depressed because it wasn't like the same year in a row. And the third year is okay because I learned that it's different every year. And I don't know why I expected it to be the same this year. You know what I mean? I knew that. I learned that lesson a long time ago. And I hate women. I've always said I hate women. And I think I say that to keep people away. And we had a really nice women's meeting. Bonnie usually has it, and it's always that far away. And this year we had it, and I didn't want it to end. We had to break for dinner, and then I got depressed because not everybody came back. And then it was a nice, small, intimate one. So I suggested to some people, we need to put it on the list for next year so all the women know it's going to be a certain time in a certain place so we can go. And maybe separate, men can have their own meeting, because then I feel bad if you don't get to come. But, I don't know, I had a big resentment and chip on my shoulder, and my daughter didn't have fun, and she got what she needed to, She might not know it yet. She might be out in the car pouting, but, she got what she needed. So, I appreciate that, and I told Kathy that Lisa better come or we're going to Ohio to get her. So, if you don't come down to tape, at least, try and come, because everybody every year doesn't make it back, and then we wonder, are they gone? Did they pass on? And it's just nice to see everybody every year. It's like a family reunion. So, thank you.
Apples, pears, peaches, strawberries, cookies, cake. I'm sorry. Kind of an inside thing. Last night, started sprinkling, and we all huddled in the cabin and started playing that game that we went on a picnic and we took apples, pears, peaches, strawberries, cake, cookie. And we won't get into the rest of the stuff. It kind of got raunchy. So anyways, I want to thank everyone for doing what they needed to do to put this on. I got clean in Michigan, and then I moved away, and I came back and got myself a home group, the same home group where I got clean. And of course, some of the faces are different, and some of them are the same. And I have to laugh when Joseph was talking about living in a cabin with your home group members. And I thought, what a great opportunity for me to get to know the people who I recover with. Not to mention all the people that are here from the other states. I know no matter where I go, recovery's there.